Excuse me, looks to be ready to go. Welcome, welcome. Live streaming today's workout on Twitch, and I'll be sharing the replay on my YouTube as well as per usual. So you can find me at Ward's Way to Fitness on YouTube, on Instagram at WW2Fitness on Twitter, and I share lots of workout tips, nutrition, stuff like that, and the workouts go up on YouTube. So far I've been sharing one most days of the week. Took the weekend off this weekend again, but you get a new workout at least Monday to Friday as I stream them at 5:30 each day. And generally minimal equipment needed. So if you're in lockdown as we are in Nova Scotia right now, you can still get it done at home. All you need is usually a single dumbbell or a kettlebell to get most of these workouts done. Sometimes I'll do TRX, sometimes I'll do just body weight. It really depends on how I'm feeling that day. So you find out what you want to do, what equipment you have available, and then we rock our way through these workouts. So as I said, today we're going to do a kettlebell routine. Our warm-up today is going to be a 5-minute AMRAP. We're going to be hitting 15 prisoner good mornings. So no weight needed here. Feet should be about hip width apart. We're going to bring those hands up just behind the ears. Then we want to push your hips back, hinging forward. We should feel some stretch through the hamstrings. Right? And then we want to push the floor, bringing ourselves up. We're going to hit 15 of those, and then right into 12 air squats. So standing nice and tall, feet about hip width apart. We want to drop down, drive the floor away. Hit 12 of those, and then 9 up, down. So hands to the floor, feet go back. We're in a nice strong push-up position. Hop back to your hands, stand it up. No need for a jump. Then we'll right back down and repeat, and we'll hit 9 of those. All right, so we got 15, 12, 9, 5 minutes. Should give you time to hit probably 8 to 10 rounds maybe, depending on your conditioning. If you're try to get at least around a minute, so 5 rounds minimum inside of that 5 minutes. The goal is to get the heart rate up, get a good sweat started, and get ourselves rocking and rolling into today's workout. All right, so if you need to start a little bit slower and pick your pace up as we move through that warm-up, that is quite all right. I'm going to get my clock set up here. And 5 minutes. All right. So 5 minutes, 15 good mornings, 12 squats, air squats specifically, and then 9 up downs. Again, 5 to 10 rounds, somewhere in there should be pretty good. If you can get around a minute, that's a really good pace to hold on to. If you can get more than around a minute, that's really, really good. And if you can get 10 or more, then you are just crushing it today. All right. So, good mornings. We're going to get this workout rolling in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So feet would hip width apart. Focus on a nice hinge, pushing your hips back. Push the floor away to stand it up. And you should feel glutes, hamstrings. Keep that core tight as we rock through this movement. So the goal is to get you hinging with proper mechanics now, so that when we hit swings and deadlifts and stuff later, we're already prepared for how the body's going to feel. And squats. Focus on the quality of your movement, of course, over the quantity of the movement, right? So I don't need you to go for speed. I want you to hit nice, solid reps of each movement, as opposed to trying to really speed through. I was going to do this one outside today, but the weather decided to change abruptly mid-afternoon. Okay. I need to move that mic. All right, back to those good mornings. So try not to cup your hands together behind your head when you're hitting your prisoners. What that tends to do is have people pull on their neck, which pulls the head out of alignment. We want to avoid that. I am going much slower than I thought I would with this. Having to keep readjusting my shirt and changing the position of my mic is certainly not helping. Come on. The clip on this mic does not like these shorts. Here we go. We're in the final minute now. Final 10 seconds. And there we go. All right. We should be warm now. So, I definitely over-predicted the pace, I think, at the start. It was... I was thinking it'd be like 30 to 45 seconds to finish each one. It was probably closer to a minute 15 to finish each round. You could, in theory, go much faster, of course, right? Depending on where we did that in the workout. You might be feeling a little bit more warm and a little bit better able to set a faster pace. But yeah, almost 4 rounds for me. Not bad. Feel the sweat. Definitely got the heart rate up. And that was the goal. Get the movement pattern started. Get the heart rate up. Get us ready for today's workout. So less concerned with how many we did and with just getting the work done in general. So, and of course, you know, playing with my mic didn't help. So, all right. Okay. That's a new notification. Haven't seen that before. All right. So our strength section today, we're going to be hitting 15 minutes. Okay, so you've got a 15-minute clock. We're going to be hitting 9 offset kettlebell deadlifts, 6 offset kettlebell rows, and then 6 presses. And the goal is to try to, or not 6, 3. So 9, 6, 3, and then 15 bear squats, and that's 1 round. You can rest as you need to between moves, but ideally I want you to try to get all 18 reps of the kettlebell done before you put the kettlebell down, okay? So we're hitting deadlifts. We want to focus on the hinge with the deadlift, so it's all about that folding forward from the hip. When I say offset, what I mean is that one leg is going to be slightly back, so we're putting a little bit more emphasis on the front leg for this movement, okay? So we want to soften that knee, folding forward from the hip, keeping the core tight so the torso stays in a nice straight line. And then we're going to drive through this front leg to stand ourselves up, hinging from the hip again, and repeat. And once we've done 9 of those, then we're going to do 6 rows. So extend that arm, try to pull the weight back toward the hip, extend that arm back down, and repeat. And after 6 of those, we're going to bring that weight up, and we hit 3 overhead press. Ideally, we want to go strict, but if your weight is a little bit heavy, feel free to throw a little bit of a push in there so you could go dip and drive that weight up with a little bit of power from the hips. Okay, but ideally, we want to try to hit all 3 of those strict press if possible. Okay, after you finish that set of 3, we're going to drop down to the floor for some bear squats. So hands should be right underneath of the shoulders, knees are right underneath of the hips, and we're on the toes and the hands here. So this is a bear plank. You want to keep this nice and tight, and you're going to push with your hands to drop your hips back down onto your heels, and then extend your body back forward, keeping that core tight, and repeat. And I want you to hit somewhere between 10 and 15 of those bear squats, depending on how your quads are feeling and your ability to hit them with good quality, okay? If you need to take a little bit of a break and then do a few more reps, that's fine, but try to go straight set on the bear squats as well, okay? So after you're done that, if you need a little bit of a rest before you hit your other arm or other side, then feel free. But we've got 15 minutes, and I want to get through 5 rounds for each side inside of that block, okay? So that's about 90 seconds for each set, so for each side, okay? Should be a good pace, but it should also be a tough pace to hold on to if you have a challenging weight for your kettlebell movements, okay? So, who's ready? I'm gonna set up my 15-minute clock here. All right. So again, rest when you need to. Take the breaks that you need. And then get to work as quickly as you can. All right, try to hit a minimum of 3 rounds for each side. Again, the goal is 5 inside of 15 minutes, but 3 would still be pretty good, 4 being a little bit better. And if you've got a lighter weight and you want to see how many sets you can get done in 15 minutes, then you could go for a higher number as well. Okay, so you take your pick. It'll be 15 minutes. We're going to start rocking and rolling right now. So 9 offset kettlebell deadlifts. Again, focuses on the off leg. So we're really trying to push the floor away with this opposite leg here. So feeling glutes and hamstrings on that left leg. And then we're going to row. So focus on good quality execution here as we hit 6 reps of rows. Again, ideally they are strict presses. So we're trying to take the body English out. 3 reps and then into our bear squats. right. And I'm going to move right into the other side. If you guys have any questions for me today, feel free to drop them in the chat or comment down below if we're watching this on YouTube as a replay. That's 3 minutes down so far. So don't sacrifice your quality just to hit extra reps. So if you need to slow down, you slow down. That's fine. Those are a lot harder than they might look. All right, left arm. Whew. All right. Whew. Feeling the burn. All right. So that's 2 rounds for each side so far for me. We've got about 8.5 minutes left. Just under 8 minutes now. How are we feeling out there? I don't know about you guys, but my legs are on fire. Burn, baby, burn. Approaching that 6 minute left mark. Which means I'm still pretty close to my pace. I will probably have to speed up a little bit. All right, 5.5 minutes left. You got 4.5 minutes left. And that pace is definitely getting hard to hold. Just under 3 minutes. This definitely feels like cardio too. That's okay. I'm more interested in that metabolic effect from my training right now anyway. Minutes. So I'm going to attack the complex for both sides and then just do bear squats for whatever's left of this 2-minute block. So we got 40 seconds. Whew. And that's a wrap. That was tough. Whew. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm drenched in sweat here. I'm going to need a minute or two before we move to our next section. Probably should have done 10 bear squats instead of 15 with that. But I still got all the reps I wanted done with the kettlebell, and that was the most important part of this particular strength section anyway. So one of the reasons that I love the kettlebell so much is because of this metabolic effect that you get even when you are trying to lift for a little bit more like strength or hypertrophy. So basically trying to get stronger or build some more muscle. So even when that's the goal, just the nature of the kettlebell and the way the movements work, you tend to get a pretty high heart rate response. It means more calories burned. That means more fat lost in the long term. But it also does mean that it can be harder to recover in some cases too, right? The more time you spend at a higher heart rate, the harder it can be to recover. You do have to be very conscientious about how high you let your heart rate go when you're doing a lot of these workouts. So if you can keep it in that like 80 to 90% of heart rate max zone, so with the my zones, that's the yellow, that should be relatively easy to recover from. But if you're pushing up into the red for any length of time, recovery is going to be a lot harder. So like the more time you spend in the red zone, that 90 to 100% of heart rate max, the more time you'll need to recover, or the more effort you'll need to put into your recovery protocols in order to be able to fully hit your next workout with the best of your ability, right? So the more often that you push yourself and challenge the curves, the harder it's going to be to recover, and the more you'll have to marshal resources for recovery in order to be able to continue to push yourself and get the most out of your workouts. So you can't go ham 100% of the time. Sometimes you do need to scale back and respect that your body needs a little bit of a slower pace, more recovery style workout. And that's why I often give ranges for you guys. Instead of saying like, do this, I say, here's a range. Try to stay within this range. And you tend to get better results from your training that way. And then as a coach, my job is typically to find that right range for you so that you can maximize your results. So if we're finding that you're spending too much time in the red, then we can adjust the workouts to bring you back down into the yellow, right? And we can play with your recovery ability. Can give you some additional mobility sessions, maybe give you some extra steady state cardio that keeps you at a slightly lower heart rate to let your body fully recover from the effort that you're putting in. Okay, so for the workout section, we're gonna have a 10-minute AMRAP. We're gonna use the 9-6-3 format again for the workout section, but this time we're gonna hit single arm swings, cleans, and then snatches. Now, if you can do them without putting the weight down, that's the top tier. That's your goal. That's what we want to hit. So basically, we treat it as a complex. You hit 9 swings, 6 cleans, and then 3 snatches without putting that weight down. And then you can put the weight down to switch arms, right? And so if we want to have maximum difficulty, we would say that a round doesn't count unless we hit that 9-6-3, okay? So if you cannot consistently hit that 9-6-3 without putting the weight down, that's okay. You can try to hit as many reps as you can in each exercise, right? So you could do 9 swings, put the weight down, and then 6 cleans, put the weight down, 3 snatches, put the weight down, and see if you can work your way through the whole routine, resting as little as possible between them, right? That's another approach that you could take here. If your kettlebell's too heavy or you're not comfortable with these movements, then you may need to adjust the reps a little bit. So maybe 9-6-3 is too much. Maybe you want to go 6-4-2 instead. You could do 7-5-3, right? If your weight is light, you could go up in reps instead and maybe try a 10-8-6 or a 12-10-8, something like that. The exact breakdown of the reps is really up to you and where your comfort level is with those movements. So for our single arm cleans, we want to make sure we get a nice strong core. We hike that kettlebell through and we're driving it up with the hips, pulling it back through and driving it up with the hips. Okay, so try to make sure you're not getting too much rotation, or that if you are hitting rotation, that you're controlling it, okay? So don't come down and just like let your body turn willy-nilly. Keep the core nice and tight, right? And if there's some rotation, play into the rotation. So actually like squeeze the core to create that rotation instead, and then uncoil the core as you bring that weight back up. Okay, so ideally, if there's any rotation at all, you are in control of it. After you finish 9 reps, again, you need to put the weight down, feel free. If you don't, you can move right into 6 kettlebell cleans. So we hike, bring that weight up into that front rack position. So fist should be right underneath of the chin, kettlebell's resting against your shoulder, and you're pushing your wrist up into the bell, okay? And then we're gonna push it down, back into that hinge, snap with the hips, pull, catch that weight, okay? So we wanna get that hinge the same as we did for the swing, and then as we extend, we pull, and then we're bringing the wrist to meet the bell, okay? So don't flip the bell with your wrist. As you're coming up, you wanna be rotating your wrist into the bell to catch, okay? And ideally, it's really making contact with the shoulder first, and then you're pushing your wrist in to meet the bell, okay? We want to try to do the same thing with the snatch as we catch in that overhead position, okay? So we get that hike again, so we get that hinge, snap, we get the pull, but this time we want to pull up nice and high and then punch through at the end, again, pushing your wrist into the bell. So it'll look like this. Okay, so hopefully you have yourself some chalk. I'm going to put a little on myself right now. I got a little liquid chalk here. If you can get yourself some dry chalk, it is definitely far superior, and I would recommend it. But right now, this is all I've got, so this is what I use. If you've got the liquid chalk, spread it on your hands, and then let it air dry before you get rolling with the routine. All right, so it's 963 on one side, 963 on the other side, and switching back and forth. Okay, we're gonna have 10 minutes. Now, depending on your conditioning and your proficiency with these movements, maybe somewhere between 6 and 8 rounds is a pretty good target. Okay, so that's three to 4 per arm. That's pretty good. If you can get 5 per arm for that 10 total, that's really good. If you can get above 10, then you are a beast at these movements and you are just flying with very little rest whatsoever. All right, so really I would try to hit that like 6 to 8 range if you can. 10 plus being really like elite level. If you can hold that pace all the way through 10 minutes, then you are very good with these movements, or maybe you have a fairly light weight depending. So for the guys, I generally recommend like that 53 pound range, so like 24 kilos. And for the ladies, usually like the 35 or 16 kilo, right? So 35 pounds, 16 kilos. That's the weight I would normally recommend for these movements for this circuit, okay? So I'm about ready for this party to get started again. How about you guys? Yeah, that heart rate's way down now. Excellent. Let's get this clock set up for 10 minutes. Boom. We'll give ourselves a little countdown here this time. 2. So you can go away. And all right. Clock is set up. I'm going to refill my water bottle. Not sure if I'll have much time to drink. But I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So there we go. So 10 minutes. All right, so 9 swings, 6 cleans, 3 snatches. Try to get them done without putting the weight down if you can, but pay attention to your form. Make sure that you are still feeling strong and that the quality of your reps is staying high, all right? So without further ado, we got 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Still feeling those hands from last week's workouts. That's 2 minutes down. Make sure you're settling into a good pace, or you don't need to rest too much. We're 4 minutes in. Oh. All right. 6 rounds down. Pretty happy with this pace so far. Whew. Whew. I'm feeling that bicep. Kettlebells can be great for building bigger, stronger arms, as well as rocking that metabolic system. We got 3.5 minutes to go. Chalk's wearing off. I got 8 rounds down. How you doing out there? Keep pushing. Excuse me. This final few minutes is where the magic happens. 2 minutes left. All right, 90 seconds. Hands are burning up here. 40 seconds. Try to dig in, get that last round done. And time. All right, excellent work. How are we all feeling? I got into the red zone there right at the end. Inside that last minute, really had to hold on tight. Thought I might let go of the bell a couple of times. Grip and biceps were just fired right up. There you go. I definitely recommend spending some time stretching at some point tonight. I often like to do a little bit of stretching mobility right before bed. I find it helps kind of wind me down a little bit, help me relax before it's time to catch those Z's. Whew. All right. Another good one. Just over 800 calories again today. Not bad. For, what's that, about 50 minutes of work? Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, hey? And some of that time was spent explaining the exercises and not actually doing them. Oh, look at that, the sun's come back out. Nova Scotia weather, man. You never know what you're going to get. All right, so that was fun. If you're watching this in the replay and you followed along, let me know how you did down below. If you are going to get this workout done on your own, you want to tag me in a post, let me know how you did with both sets of this workout. And I will catch you guys on tomorrow's stream, same time, same place. Peace out, bitches.